Toddler laughs as 5 firefighters try to free him from car he locked while his mother shopped for groceries. A little kid came up to the ice cream truck today holding a $5 in one hand and a cool leaf in the other. She asked for a bomb pop. And I said okay, that will be 1 leaf please. And she said no and handed me the $5. When I was 5 my mom got an elf on the shelf and told me it was watching to see if I was bad. I was so scared I decided to kill it and I snuck out, stole the elf on the shelf, and then ripped its arms up and hid it in the grass under my window, then lied about it when questioner. Parenting is hard. I'm trying to teach my son that vage isn't a dirty word, but that he still needs to pick a different name for his hamster. My son is terrified of the Loch Ness monster right now. Absolutely terrified. Keeps asking me questions about it. Can it get out of the lock? Is the lock far away, etc. No idea where he even heard about it. I told him it can drive and could be in our town in about 20 minutes. Eats we boys. My 9-year-old took my iPhone and in less 5 minutes sent high-res close-up shots of my dog's clenched shinta to the following. My mom. My best partner, wife, guy I went to grad school with in 2000, HSBC, my accountant, San Diego Blood Bank, and Shake Shack's tech spot. My little sister watched Inner Space and she collected 4 ants and put them in a Lego spaceship. Her excuse? I wanna show the ants my organs and pop them out. I stopped her from swallowing it. The black dots are the ants. 5-year-old, wearing tutu and carrying broom. Dad, I'm a butch. Me. Whoa what? 5-year-old, I'm a butch. I'm part ballerina and part witch. Ballerina plus witch equals butch. Me. Hem. What if we called you a witcherina? 5-year-old. No. Butch makes more sense. Me. Sigh. Yeah. Look. When I was 7, I said that I wanted to be emo. My mom told me that Emmas pull their toenails off. Later that night, I wrapped my feet in blankets in fear that the Emmas would come out from under my bed and pull my toenails off. I've had that fear since then. The kids blamed the footprints on the dog. It's very cute letting my toddler snuggle up next to me on the couch and play with his cars while I send emails. Until he throws a truck at the keyboard and I just sent a blank email to an editor with the subject line. Submission. RDIKL. PSA. This is why it's important to keep an eye on your kids when they are in public places. This is a $4,500 saddle. We cannot watch your children while they are in the store while still helping customers. Please watch your children. Signed. This small business owner trying to do her best. When I was in 7th grade, a kid in my class said that his dad was one of the September 11th hijokers. A few months later he said he was going to Oregon to visit his dad over the summer. I have several questions. When my sister was in 1st or 2nd grade, she stood on a ball at recess when no one was looking and thought to herself, I know this is wrong and I should be in trouble, and put herself in timeout. When confronted, she cried, "Why would you do that?" Just now at recess, student 1, counting to 30 before he can start running after other students, gets to 13 and then 14, 15, 17, 18. Student 2 to student 1, dude, you skipped 16. You need to learn how to spell. You can't make this stuff up. Me. So my husband. 1st grader. You have a husband? Me. I do. The whole time you've known me. 1st graders. Oh. I always thought you were feral. Me. Do you mean single? 1st grader. Whatever the word is that you use for stray cats. Story of the week. So goes to feed the dogs last night and finds the food has gone moldy. We were talking about it. Wonder what happened. When yells from the other room. I did not pay in there. When a 10-year-old makes a birthday card of the family's cat's bat holes and titles it, "The Collection of Bat Holes." when I was around 4 to 5 years old. For some reason, I had thought that the word human was always used to refer to a male person. So I once argued with my mom about it and said I'm not a human, I'm a girl. Should also mention that in my native language the word human doesn't have the word for man in it. So I have no idea where I got that idea from. When I was 6 years old, I loved going to the airport to pick up my visiting relatives. Not once did it occur to me that aeroplanes could actually fly. I always thought travelers walked into the airport, showed their tickets, and then their flight would basically be a long tunnel through which one can walk to their required destination. Wow, I can't believe I was that dumb and managed to survive till now, a wise doctor once said. I was 5 when my aunt gave birth to my cousin. When we went to the hospital to meet her, she was in a typical hospital gown and had a drip attached to her and was looking a bit pale, understandably. So while everyone was fawning over my cousin, I went to my aunt and said, "When did you have an accident?" My 14-year-old is babysitting for the first time and I just received this text from him. So once they're all out, do I just go or wait? Yes honey, you have to stay the whole time. They aren't old enough to be left alone. Are okay thanks. I was 4 years old. It was 1975. Everybody smoked. Lighters and matches were everywhere. I took a lighter and some matches across the street to the hayfield where all the kids in the neighborhood had trampled a smallish house with rooms and stuff. Playing with the lighter and matches, started a fire, burned the whole field. 28 acres. Never told anybody about this before. Ahem. Ravioli ravioli, your secret is now mine. When I was a kid I had this game called Worm Church, where I'd bring worms to my room and read them the Bible. What's the worst thing you've done in the heat of the moment? My parents were tailors and they used to do a lot of work from home. They had really big, heavy metal scissors they used to use. I was very young, under 10 for sure. My older brother did something to pass me off. I grabbed the scissor near me and threw it at him. It missed his eyes by a small fraction. He went ballistic on why would I do something like this. 25 plus years later the memory still makes me sad how close I was to seriously injuring or killing my brother. Me, minding my business at a family birthday party. 10-year-old cousin. Hey, did you know all homeless people are homophones? Me visibly confused. What? 10-year-old cousin. They're all scared of homes, that's why they don't live in houses, because they have a phobia of homes. We have an acoustic piano in our home. Our kids are asleep, but our niece just went to play it, so we asked her to stop. She said, "Oops, I thought it was off." Scene sword. What if he removed scene sword bar? That would be so funny. By the way, can you please remove the scene sword bar? Because I wanna see what it is. Just curious. Kid at skate park. Are you Tony Hawk? Me. I am. Him. No you're not. Me. Okay I'm not. Him. But are you? For real? Me. I'm for real. Him. I know you look younger. Me. Me too. My auntie said she was going to wash my cousin's mouth out with soap when she swore. She replied, "It's okay, I like the taste of soap." Turns out she was putting soap on her lips to blow bubbles. My 10-year-old brother is throwing a 3-hour tantrum because he can't put my phone in the water FML. Look at this drawing I did when I was 6. I'm screaming. Plantain. Cram bucket. Hi Justin. This is Aaron's dad. Did you just call me and tell me to duck off? No that wasn't me. Well someone using your phone did not cool. I'm sorry about that. I think that was someone that was using my phone and called you. Very sorry about that. Yeah. Felt like a prank gone wrong. All good. Have a wicked weekend. When I was about 7, I was staying at a hotel with my dad. I wanted milk, so I went to the minibar and pulled out a carton. I opened it and started to drink it, only to find lumps in there. I kept drinking it though. After drinking over half the carton I asked my dad if there's supposed to be lumps in the milk. He just looked at me bewildered and then told me not to drink the milk if it has lumps in it. When I poured it down the drain, it was very clumpsy and gross, like pouring porridge down the sink. I do not know why I drank over half the carton, but somehow it didn't make me sick. My dad waters down my lemonade before he gives it to me. I kind of don't like that. My 14-year-old is babysitting for the first time and I just received this text from him. So once they are all asleep do I just go, oh wait, yes honey, you have to stay the whole time. They aren't old enough to be left alone. Are okay thanks. If any seasonals want to come to my house it's delete your comment. Somebody can find all your personal information from this comment. No one tells me what to do, also it's for seasonal monsters. I have a girlfriend, she kissed me for a long time. What the heck? Slex pens? My younger cousin managed to destroy my Apple Pencil and blamed it on me. Found this going through my daughter's school papers. She doesn't remember what it was supposed to be a drawing of. Word, occupation, sketch, definition. A job that someone does. Write a sentence. Teacher, doctor and truck driver are all good occupation. Little sister keeps stealing cans from the fridge over time. Some of these weren't empty and she has gotten caught and punished several times already. She doesn't learn. Hidden around her room. This dude swallowed a penny yesterday evening. He's fine, but was so happy to see his bones and stood with the radiographer for 10 minutes asking every question imaginable about every part of his x-ray, the machine and how it works. Boy, keep being you, because you are unique and the most handsomest boy in all the land. We've got you, dude. The kids think there is more pizza if I cut it this way. Totally unrelated, but when I was a kid I used to pee in the rain cause I was wet already. One day I was on my way to school and saw the rain coming from a mile away, so I decided to wet myself pre-rain. It never arrived. A kid in my class handed me this note from her parent to excuse her from swimming. Dear Mrs. has a cold cause when she says a chew her snot will come out. My brother's science quiz in grade 4. 1. Our hands get warm when we rub them, as our hands are smooth. 2. Our clothes wear off when we wash them too many times. We should use detergent. 3. Birds choose a branch high up in the tree to make a nest in, so that the ant don't reach there. 4. People get sick living in places where there is a lot of traffic, as the backside people use horns too much. 5. Bangles slip easily into our hands when we apply butter on them. No, we apply lotion. Some kid literally darksked himself in the comment section of a Gmod video. I'm a Urge fan and I would love for you to play a FNAF game P as I'm a Urge fan, my name is, and I live at. Bro just darksked himself. Write your name. Why? When you go to school you have to write your name a lot. Okay. But we are at home now. Walks away. Setting is having dinner with Izzy, 7, and Julia, 6. Izzy, so where do hot dogs come from? Me, cringing to answer, well, it's protein from animal meat. Julia, busting in with the confident answer, what, you know. Laughs in confidence and pompous. Duh. They come from hot dog trees. Everyone knows that. When I was in elementary school, my neighbor's kid was a year older than me and a Urge compulsive liar. One day, we were riding home in the back of the school bus when he told me sticking up your middle finger means you're saying all the swear words at once. Since I knew he lied about everything, when we got to our stop I proceeded to flip off the entire bus with both hands, from back to front, including the bus driver. I was suspended for a week. I remember when one time in kindergarten I was in lunch and my friends were trying to see who could say I love you the loudest without getting caught, whatever we meant at the time, and my dumbass decided the best way to not get caught was to scream it as loud as I could. I don't remember if the cafeteria was quiet or not, but I do remember the teacher came down to where me and my friends sat and told me to not scream that loud. I lost the game, and at the time, didn't know why. When I was 5 years old, I started watching TV in the living room. It was Sunday morning and everyone was still in bed. There was a Spider-Man commercial about a toy. The voiceover said very enthusiastically, "Are you the Spider-Man?" So I looked around to see if I might be able to prove I'm the Spider-Man. So I looked around in the living room and saw a vitrine cabinet with beautiful showpieces from my father. My idea was to climb that closet and then jump from A to B with my spider web. But before I climbed on the cabinet, I fell with the cabinet on the floor. My whole family was startled awake. But I was okay. I only had a scratch on my face and elbow. When I was a kid, I always thought our forefathers were our forefathers and I could never figure out which four we were talking about. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, and there were always so many options. Alexander Hamilton, John Adams, James Madison. They were all deserving. Anyway, I felt real dumb when I finally learned the difference between 4 and 4. Happy 4th of July, and be safe out there everyone. I went up to my brother, stared at him, pulled a creepy grin, widened my eyes, grabbed my head, did a backbend, said my brain trembles, then just looked at him while biting my dingers. He's avoided me for hours now. Mission complete. When I was 5/4 years old, there were a bunch of kids in my area with them being max 6/7 years old. So one time what happened was that there was a rage gang war with like 2 kids on my side and 3 on their side. We began punching and slapping each other, then eventually the other side brought out their Panzer division, which was a kid on like a toy car, who began trying to run me and others over. However, I ran away. It was a stalemate. When I was around 6 years old, my cousin, M, was born, and at that time both of our families lived in the same house. We were referring to his father as our uncle, and later, when he learned to talk, he kept calling his father uncle, and his parents just thought it was funny and made little efforts to correct him. My family later moved out and came to visit them, and still many years later, now he is in high school, my cousin calls his father uncle, and it's the weirdest thing ever. When I was in high school, my siblings and I wanted to make flan. We were trying to melt the sugar down to make the syrup to go over the flan, but we absolutely destroyed our stepmom's good pan. We spent a long time scraping out hard melted sugar and also whatever non-stick surface was on the pan. In hindsight, I don't know why we didn't just reheat the sugar instead of letting it cool and scraping it out / beating it with knives till it broke up. Another time, we were making pizza or something and took the pan out of the oven and put it on the stove for a few minutes. We didn't realize we placed the hot pan directly on top of our stepmom's knife with a plastic handle. The plastic handle stuck to the pan. We stuck the pan back in the oven with the knife stuck under it. Then the whole handle melted all over the oven rack and into the bottom of the oven. Our stepmom was super angry with us both times, lol. A D's tooth. Dear mom / dad / tooth fairy, can I please have $25? I want more money than last time, or else I will be mad. When I was young, I played an official mobile GTA game, and you couldn't swim in it. I thought that was because swimming wasn't invented yet when the game came out. I teach EFL, and in the 7-year-old class we were learning Can I Have, with whatever the kids came up with. The schools are kind of offices and can have several classes of varying ages from children's to adults going on in the day. We get to the last part of the class, which is ask the teacher for something you want. One of the boys looks at me and screams at the top of his lungs, "Can I have Coke?" I'm a little taken aback at first, so he just starts yelling over and over, "Can I have Coke? Can I have Coke?" which just sent me wheezing of laughter, not helping the situation. When I finally collect myself, I correct him, "It's Coke. Can I have Coke?" I was dumb. I was 6 and on a family vacation in Austria, me plus siblings plus parents. We were driving to some destination when our car was low on fuel, and so we stopped at a gas station. My dad said we could all get a snack each, and I asked for some Pringles, to which my mom replied, honey, pick something else. Pringles are made of pure oil and are super unhealthy. What she meant was they're full of palm oil and there are other healthier alternatives. What I thought she meant is that Pringles were made out of crude oil, like the black goop, that would poison those who consume it. And yet for some reason, it still made sense in my mind, thinking it was some sort of special blend that made the Pringles unique. For a year straight I avoided Pringles entirely before I told a friend about their dubious components, and they set me straight again. When I was very little, my older brother and I ran away to Chuck E. Cheese in the middle of the night in our pajamas. Of course, they were closed, and we got brought home by a police officer. Just read the news about Technoblade. I don't even know what to say. I'm absolutely crushed. Having the opportunity to meet him and play with him in an MCC last year was an amazing experience. He was and always will be a content creator we all look up to and aspire to. RIP. What will happen to Dream SMP? When I was 9 I decided to flat iron my barber's hair. I discovered shortly after their hair is made of plastic. Grandma's prank call. When I was about 11 I hid my phone number and prank called my grandma on break and said something along the lines of "Arm my legs, help I'm stuck," and hung up. Little did I know, my uncle was traveling the world and my grandma assumed it was him calling home because he had been hurt. She contacted XYZ country's embassy to see if they had heard anything about an incident. Safe to say, I had a stern talking to when I got home that day. Still not really sure how they figured out it was me. Looking back, even though I hid my number, their phone didn't even have a screen on it.